RTM?
RTM is requirement test matrix, traceability matrix, requirement traceability matrix.
Yeah.
So it is all about test cases mapped with the requirement. So we ensure that by the help of RTM, we ensure that the 100% test coverage.
So
RTM.
So you mentioned test cases mapped to the requirement.
Requirement.
Right. Yeah. Requirement. Okay. Yeah. So RTM, requirement traceability matrix. That's absolutely correct. And so the purpose of RTM, you said to check whether the requirements have been
100% test coverage.
The test coverage is like 100%, or all of the requirements have been covered. Yeah, that absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Yes. So that's the whole purpose of it. So usually, how do you create these RTMs, requirement traceability metrics? Have you saw any of these when you were a developer? How do you create, and how did people create their?
I just, for example, like there are in the internet, or one of my sir gives a demo of that. RTM is like first you have login, you have a different scenario requirement by the client, that you have to login button, register button, and the forget button. Okay, so it is the requirement, and the test cases for that. The test cases for login button, and the test cases for register button, and the test cases of sign up button or forget button. So they all map together, and we write the test cases in the column, and we write the requirements in the row.
Right.
So we check whether the requirement is completed or not, whether the test case is written for login button or not. So we check by the RTM.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So yes, I mean, you can make it manually, but nowadays there are so many, test management tools provide all this functionality automatically out of the tool. And traceability matrix is not just from the requirement and test cases. There is another layer that you can add. So from the requirement, the mapping of the test cases to the requirement, and then during the execution, there might be defects, right? So which test cases defects have arisen? So defects are then mapped to the test cases. So basically that gives the overall traceability of the requirement, test cases, defects, and there's forward and backward traceability. So there are tools like in Zephyr, which is the test management plugin within Jira. So you will get automatic traceability matrix. So many people do it on the Excel sheet, which is very tedious work. If you do it from the tool which is available for you, that becomes really easy to capture the requirement traceability matrix, as far as the data that has been entered by your team is correct, as far as they have linked the test cases properly to the requirement and defects to the requirement. But your answer is absolutely correct. You can also add that it's not just about requirement and test cases, it can be extended as well, right? But traditionally it used to be, I mean, the core idea is to check that the coverage of the requirement is there. You haven't missed any of the requirement, right? So that gives you a a confidence that requirements are being covered and there are test cases to test those requirements. Okay, what is the defect report or the bug report?
Okay, defect report, like defect is known as the variance between actual and expected result, right? So it is a report. It gives the details of defect. It gives the whole details about the defect. So it includes in their documents defect reports include in their documents like what kind of project you are working, like project name and defect ID, project name, and what kind of in which module or sub module you get a defect. And after that, you know the phase, like which level of testing, in which level of testing you find a defect, And next is about severity and the priority of defect, and summary, description, and the last is status. The status should be new, open, and deferred, not defect. That's all about defect reporting.
Right. So can you name some of the defect management tools that you're aware of?
Bugzilla and Quality Center and issue tracker. The name I know.
Okay. Yeah, I think all good. I mean, Bugzilla, very few people use, very few companies use. QC, yes. I mean, nowadays mostly Jira is being used by a lot of organizations because Jira provides a built-in defect management within itself. And for test management, people use Jira as well because there are test management plugins like Zephyr and X-Ray that you can use for the test management as well. So it's basically more of agile project management with defect management with test management. So everything is in Jira now. But yeah, I mean, there are so many defect management tools. Bugzilla is by far, I mean, one of the open source and very popular one that that many companies use. Okay, great. Who assigns the severity and priority?
Tester and developer both. I think so.
Okay, so severity, basically, what do you understand by severity when we say severity?
Severity is it indicates the impact of defect on software application.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, great. So how big the impact is, right? So who knows the impact? Who knows the impact best?
Tester.
Yes. So testers assigns because tester knows the impact best. So testers assign severity. Priority is then more of a business or product owner, right? So like in what order I want to get these defects fixed, or the business wants to get these defects fixed, or product owner, whosoever is. The reason being, there could be very low severity defect, but it could be bad on the company reputation. Say, for example, like a big corporation website, and on the home page there is a spelling mistake, and there is not one, there are a couple of spelling mistakes. So it's not breaking as such anything, right? But in terms of that big organization, it's not good reputation, or it doesn't look good. So they have to, even though they are less severe defects, but they need to be fixed. So in that case, business might just go ahead, no, you have to fix these very quickly, right? So then those sort of less severe and high priority defect, that's how they occur. And there are different combinations that you can think of. Try to think of these scenarios, and you'll get to know. So great.